Hi, Ebony. Hi, everyone. Ebony, thank you so much for being here and for your willingness to share with us about your journey with Femina Flow. So, tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a freelancer. I'm based in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I've been full-time freelance now for coming up to a year in January. I specialize in photography, videography, some web design and graphic design, and I'm really passionate about women in this kind of business doing digital nomad work and freelancing. Um, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Amazing. Um, why did you decide to join the program? What were your struggles, your challenges? Um, please share as much as you can.
I have done a lot of therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy in my like younger teenage and childhood years, and I always felt like there was just something slightly missing from what I needed from those kinds of therapies. And then when I came across your program, it seemed to be really aligned with where I was at the time. Like I felt like I had done so much inner work, but there was just sort of like a barrier that I couldn't get past. And I was just ready to get past that and release old behaviors and old like mindset. And when I seen the program, it just immediately felt right for me at the time. And I knew that I needed to invest in myself, and I knew it felt like it was going to be exactly what I needed at the time, in order to feel more, I wanted to feel more calm in my life and more peacefulness. I've always been stuck in that fight or flight mode. And I just didn't want to feel like that anymore. And from what I could read and do my research on breath work and on Femina Flow, is that the breath work was going to really help me connect to my body and my mind rather than just trying to power through and get on with what's going on in my mind.
Amazing. Um, what was actually missing in cognitive behavioral therapy and all the other modalities that you've tried before?
I feel like it was always, to me anyway, it always felt like putting a plaster or a band-aid over the problem. I never felt like I was getting to the root of the problem. And when I requested counseling over the cognitive behavioral therapy, maybe thinking that the counseling would get me deeper, nothing ever came from it. I just felt like the CBT just was like a plaster. It was like, okay, so you're struggling with social anxiety. Let's just figure out how to deal with that rather than I felt like I wanted to know why. Why do I have social anxiety? Why can't I get past that barrier of feeling so uncomfortable in who I am around other people? And the CBT didn't help me. I couldn't I couldn't fully heal from it until I knew the root or done more work in at the root of the problem, and putting a plaster on top of it and just sort of figuring out how to deal with it felt like counterproductive for me. It's, like it's trying to fix something compared to just sort of dealing with the consequences. I don't know, it just never felt like I was getting right to the root of it. And then, yeah, it always just felt like brushing it under the rug instead of actually fully helping me deal with things.
And what helped you to get to that root cause in the program? Was there anything specific or the process overall? What is there anything that surprised you? Uh, tell us more about it.
I think the main thing was that surprised me was it was just guidance. The guidance was able to help me release things and become aware of things myself almost. It wasn't as if someone was telling me what to do or telling me what to feel or how to deal with it or what's wrong with me. It was just gentle, intuitive guidance that helped me figure it out myself. I felt like in the best way. I was able to fully trust myself, trust the process, and just let whatever was going to come out come out. And by trusting that process and just allowing myself to fully commit and fully go for it, I felt like things just naturally wanted to come out and release. And just that gentle guidance was so helpful in making me feel comfortable and safe to let that out in that safe space.
Yeah, it was beautiful to experience. Like with each session, you know, you were trusting me more and you were just being more comfortable and opening up. I love that. What has changed, right, in your life thanks to the program?
A lot. I feel like I do at the beginning, my intentions at the beginning was I wanted to feel more calm and peacefulness in my life. And I wanted to stop feeling stuck in that fight or flight. That was like my main, this is what I want out of this program. And now at the end of it, I do feel like I have achieved that. I feel a lot more calm overall. And I know it's because of what I did in the program, because I've never felt this like this before until I've done this breath work and I've done this journey. Um, I just feel more capable. I feel like I'm in tune with my body and my mind, and I know what I need, what I don't want, and what I deserve, I guess. And just, yeah, that feeling of being just calm is such a new feeling for me. I've never felt it before. I've always just, I've never had that overall calmness just in day-to-day life, and being able just to feel capable and in control in the healthiest way of myself and my emotions. It's not that I'm stopping myself from allowing emotions to come out, but now I'm able to handle them and manage them in a healthy way that doesn't take over my whole life.
And is there anything you would advise to a person, right, who wants that change, therapy doesn't work fully? They've tried self-help books, all those courses, and there's still something like missing, right? Probably that release, relief, but they hesitate. Is there any advice you have for that person?
Yeah, I think that it's what I found that's really important is figuring out what works for me instead of trying to fit into the mold of what is the norm or what people or what you should be doing to help yourself. I feel like actually listening to what I need and what works for the way my brain works and the way I function, and forgetting about the outside noise, that is what led me to Feminine Flow and led me to that breath work, and being able to recognize that that was so aligned for me and going for it, invest in the cost and invest in my time because I knew that's what was going to be right for me, and just trusting myself to do that. I think that's, if I was to tell my younger self, it would just be to just trust what you need and what feels right for you. Forget about what other people think and what other people say you should do, and forget about what is seen normal in society when it comes to mental health and therapies. There's different forms, and I never thought breath work, I never thought I'd ever come across that or never
Hmm.
mind, like take part. So to figure out that I could do a form of like almost holistic therapy in breath work, it's like it's been a crazy journey and so worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like it's been so powerful for me, and I honestly would recommend. I find myself recommending it to people, like when I'm talking to someone and they're like, and I'm like, oh, have you tried breath work? Like it's so powerful. It'll be so good for you. And I find myself like figuring out that there's people in my life that I'm like, oh, you'd really benefit from Femma Flow, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm here with you, because I had the same experience like uh 4 years ago, 3.5, let's say, when I joined my first free breathwork session and I was like, everyone needs to know about it. Like,
Yeah.
why not? So I understand you fully. Yeah, is there anything you would like to add on top of that?
Just that I'm really grateful. I'm very, very grateful that our paths have crossed and that I was able to take part in this because it just it almost feels like hard work and hard times have all paid off to get me to where I need to be. And if I wasn't the way I am, I wouldn't have got to this point and I wouldn't have crossed this path and things have led me to where I am. So I'm just very, very grateful and very grateful for Feminine Flow. And I just think it's been really, really beneficial for me and I really will be carrying it forward. I already have been carrying it forward into my daily life and I will continue to because it's just, yeah, it's changed my life really.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ebony. Thanks for allowing me to guide you, for your trust and commitment. It was really beautiful to witness all of that and how your life is aligning with that inner work. Yeah, thank you, girl, really,
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Thank you so much.